Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is a gorgeous game with amazing environments. We can see many buildings in Havana, for instance, with great materials, lots of wear and tear, and details. Modern open world games need hundreds of unique feeling buildings, but studios, as large as they are, cannot have their team make those buildings one by one. They simply do not have the time, the budget, and the teams are not large enough to do that. What they need is a system that breaks down most structures into smaller pieces, walls of different dimensions, some with windows and shutters, some with doors, corner pieces, floors, ceilings, roofs, stairs, balconies, etc. Those are all built once. They are textured once and often share trim sheets and are using tileable materials. They are then assembled using a custom system to save time. More on that later. All of that allows for maximum reusability and is optimized for performance. Those are called modular kits. And this channel has been covering that topic since the very first video, as it is a fundamental technique of modern environment art. My first course for environment artists is also focusing on this. Let's take a closer look at this system using the work of 3D artist Raf Azores. This is the full kit with all the pieces used to create the Kingston Church. If you look very carefully, and if you have worked with modular kits in the past, you might notice that there is one piece that is missing to complete the puzzle. It's possible that the extra piece is simply not shown on the render of the kit. But there are different ways to approach this. The other piece on the right side could have been used, cut in a DCC and used in the building tool. Another example from the same artist, the windmill also located in Kingston. We can see that the structure was made using a modular kit as well. This windmill is featured in the Tilting at Windmills local event and is the only interactable windmill in the game. So why make a modular kit? Well, there are other windmills in the background that are not interactable but used for set dressing vistas. We can look at many more examples of typical modular kits used in the game. Regardless of the architectural style, the condition of the structure, modular kits are used by most production, from indie to AA to AAA game. It is simply the most efficient way to approach buildings in modern games. It doesn't need to be a large open world neither, but reusability is a necessity in modern game development. It also applies to every type of structures, houses, churches, forts, etc. We can break down any structure into smaller pieces to be reused by other similar structures. An important point to address is that modular kits apply to exterior and interior assets. Interiors can vary even for similar styles of exteriors and vice versa. In most games, exteriors and interiors are made separately for rendering reasons. The interior assets are loaded when the player is outside but not rendered, because they're not visible to the player. Once the player gets inside the building, then all the interior assets are rendered and all the exterior assets are not. As you can see clearly here, everything is done separately and assembled using a building system that we will discuss later on in the video. And to put it very simply, modular kits require careful planning, precise execution early in the production of the game, but once a few kits are done, buildings can be put together like using Legos. Everything snaps together, everything is of the right dimension, there is no guessing. The assembling part is extremely fast. And that will lead us to a natural question that many people have. Many people have asked me the same question about modular kits. Is it really optimized for games if we are using hundreds of small pieces instead of a few houses for our village? The follow-up question is also always the same. If every building is made out of dozens of individual pieces, doesn't it increase the draw calls? Those are very valid questions. And the reason why most school graduates are asking those is very simple. Because it's true if this is not managed by a custom building system. If you are to implement that in a small project and you don't have a system to manage it, it would add a lot of assets and a lot of material. Therefore, more draw calls. Just before getting further, I wanted to illustrate what is a draw call. A draw call is a command sent by the game engine to the graphics system asking it to draw something on screen. You can assume that one unique asset has one draw call for every different material. Modern game engines have different rules for batching assets, but this rule will apply in most cases. So the trick to avoid having too many draw calls for our buildings made out of many small assets is instancing, batching, and in most cases, this is done using a custom system that we have covered in previous videos right here on the channel. We have seen what Larian is using to assemble their building kits. You can watch the full video right here. And here is what Ubisoft used for another Assassin's Creed game. This is the system from Unity that they use to assemble their buildings. You can watch the full video right here. Most studios have a custom tool that manages their buildings, and the benefits of having such a system, outside of speeding up the assembling, is very simple. First, it helps the engine with batching all similar pieces, like the wall with a window that is used 2 or 3 times for the first building, and maybe 20-30 times in the neighborhood, will be counting for only a few draw calls anytime they will be visible on screen because they are sharing few materials. So all of that is very well optimized for performance and saves tons of time to build in the engine. There is also the added benefit that if the art director requests an adjustment, either to the geometry or to the material used, it will update on all the assets, again saving a lot of time. If you're learning from these videos but are still struggling to put everything together into a full environment, that's exactly why I built my full course. You'll build the entire scene step by step in real time, understanding composition, scale, materials, and lighting, so you can apply the same process to your own worlds. These environments were created by students using the same workflow you will learn here. It's designed for artists who already know the basics and want to create a professional portfolio work, not just isolated studies. This isn't about learning tools, it's about learning how professionals build environments. If that's where you're trying to get to, you can check the link in the description. Another question that is asked frequently is, if so many buildings are using assets from the same kits, how can we make the buildings look different or feel unique? Again, very valid question. There are many strategies that can help with that. First, material instances. Changing colors, adding some wear and tear is possible in most cases. Second, using decals. Either stamp decals, what you would drag and drop out of your content browser, or mesh decals. Those have to be managed properly also, as adding dozens on every building will add to the memory footprint, but there are ways to save on performance even when using many decals. Third, material blending using vertex painting. As we will see in the next video, most tileable materials in Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced have some blending options, and that is meant to fix the issue caused by reusing the same assets and materials over and over. Those would be the main techniques used to cover the fact that the assets are similar. But there is more. Level or environment artists will do a pass of set dressing, adding foliage where they can, adding props, adding storytelling elements, so that different regions of the game will feel unique, even though they might be reusing assets from another region. This is a very common practice in modern games. Congrats to all the artists on this beautiful game. Thank you all for publishing such useful breakdowns of your work. The aspiring artists can learn so much from this. Now a word on the channel's partner, Bundle Foundry. You can get several tutorials for a very good price here. Many bundles are added each month. Several bundles just launched. You want to check this out. Check out the price also. This is great value. This is a great opportunity to level up your skills at a great price. Links to the bundles will be in the description. I'm also offering a AAA portfolio checklist that might help you figure out what's important for employers when applying for a job. The link is in the description. And a quick thank you to the members supporting the channel. Your support helps make these videos possible.